Hello, welcome to this special conversation with Exeter City captains, men's captain Matt Jay and women's captain Manfy Sharpe about the Rainbow Laces campaign. Saturday's game against Tranmere Rovers is our dedicated fixture as people across the country are being asked to lace up and speak up. Guys, thank you so much for joining us. We'll start with you, MJ. What's your understanding of the Rainbow Laces campaign and why we have it?
Yeah, I think obviously a lot's been spoken about it as of late. There's been plenty of stuff in the press about the LGBTQ plus and trying to get everyone involved. Whatever your sexuality and whatever relationships, etc. And I just think it's a very important thing to promote and to try to get everyone to come on board with. So obviously this weekend's our dedicated game, and it's obviously something that's very close to the club's heart. And we're all excited to be a part of it.
Manfy, this is a campaign that's been going on for a few years now. From your perspective, how much of an impact do you think it's been having over the past few years?
It's definitely had an impact. I think even small steps are steps and a step in the right direction. It's more open to talk about now, which is a long way since I first joined.
This one's directed at both of you, really. As captains of your football club and as a player, how much responsibility do you feel to champion the campaign and encourage the conversation about these issues?
Yeah, I think, first of all, obviously it's the rainbow laces and there's the rainbow armband. So obviously the first look is towards us, I suppose. And as the captain, I guess that if anyone's got any issues, they kind of come to myself, whatever issues that would be, and it would be the same way in this situation. So it's obviously something that I would back, and I would something that is, like I said, it's very close to the club's heart. So I'm fully involved in it, and if anyone has anything that they want to come and speak to me about, I'm obviously open to listening.
Manfy, what about you?
Yeah, I second that. I think we've got to lead by example and set the right footsteps for everybody else to follow in, and make it clear that even in the changing room, nothing's tolerated in our changing rooms, sort of within our teams.
I think a question that comes up a lot, or a point that's talked about a lot, is that in the women's game there are already plenty of openly gay role models, whether that be coaches, players or staff. Where it's particularly in the UK, we're still not waiting, but there aren't any openly gay players in the game. Why do you think, Manfy, that the women's game is so different to the men's game at the moment?
I feel like women maybe feel more comfortable and open to talk about it because it's a male-dominated sport. So we're all sort of together already tackling that issue. The fact that it's even perceived as an issue in the first place is silly.
And MJ, what about you? I mean, from the outside, how do you see the women's game in comparison to the men's game?
Yeah, I think obviously the women's game is, I think women often are able to speak more. I think they can speak more freely between each other. And I think it's something that the males, the men's game is struggling to do at the moment. People don't often come forward and feel like they can speak about their sexuality, and people do find it difficult. I don't know why that is a problem, and I don't know why it's been such a problem for a number of years, and it's just something that's been happening and is continuing to happen, but we need to do these types of things to be able to get people to speak up and say how they feel, and and just be themselves, I suppose. So it's something that's less in the women's game, I would say, and obviously there hasn't been openly gay players in the English game at the moment, but I don't think it'll be too long before you do see some players come out as gay.
And obviously, just last month in Australia, Joshua Cavallo of Adelaide United became the first active professional. It's worth saying the word active there. Obviously, there was Fashanu before that in the 90s. I mean, when that news came out, Matt Taylor spoke about it on an interview with him. I mean, was it brought up at all in the dressing room, or was conversations had about it? That's the both of you, really.
Yeah, I think first, from my point of view, I think obviously a lot was spoken about it, but that was kind of slightly worrying in a way, because so much of a big deal was made out of it when it shouldn't be that way. If someone's gay, then they're gay, and everyone should be happy with that. And it was just something that obviously it was a good step because someone was openly, actively gay, and that's great, and it was a step forward in the right direction. But also, on the other hand, like I touched upon it, I didn't seem to me that it had to be that big of a deal, because everyone needs to be who they want to be. So it was a step in the right direction, but also something that has probably been in the line for a long time.
We touched on this briefly earlier, but this season's tagline from Stonewall is "Lace up and speak up." Manfy, how do you think the best way to encourage people to talk about these issues are? Because it can be a subject that people find difficult to talk about.
I think the fact that it's even a taboo is silly again, but it's what we're doing as sort of leaders. You can say you support individuals, but are you talking up? Are you challenging negative behaviour? I think that's the sort of thing that needs to start happening. More individuals need to sort of shut it down earlier.
And again, this one's for both of you. If you were to hear something on the pitch or from the crowd, are you confident enough? Are you both confident that you'd know how to handle that, whether that be report to the referee or speak to someone else about it? Would you know the avenues to go down?
I think personally I'd be confident enough to handle it. Whether I don't know. I personally would shut it down straight away. I wouldn't tolerate it at all. It's not, whether it's opposition, fans, whatever, it's not tolerated.
I think basically there's more harsh consequences now than ever before, and I think that you can go to the right people, go to the referees, go to members of staff, and hopefully something that will be stamped out. And I'm sure, I know at the club, if anything comes to the light that happens in the stadiums, I'm sure there'll be consequences there.
I think a perfect example of a footballer who's used their profile well, particularly this year, is Jordan Henderson, Liverpool and England captain. He's called out homophobia on social media. He's shown his support. He wore the laces in the Euros when the issue around Hungary and UEFA was going on. As an ally and again as a captain, going forward, how do you think, or how will you be sure that you speak up about these issues and when you see something that isn't right, and how can you use what Jordan's been doing as inspiration for yourselves?
Yeah, I think obviously that was a really good point. Jordan Henderson did an amazing job, and obviously not just with that, we've obviously got this platform that we have, both in the men's and women's game. We have fans following us, and people like to see what we do, and like I said, we've got a good platform and to lead by example and try and stamp these things out, and hopefully the more people that get on board with what we do and say the right things and do the right things will only be beneficial to everyone involved.
Manfy, how much of this do you think is about education? Because it's not just about showing that football is for everyone. It's also about educating those people, that may still have those views where actually they don't think it is.
Yeah. I think education is so important, especially from a young age. I think we're not taught, but I think it's in schools, environments, we're sort of taught that maybe being gay is wrong, which is not the right idea whatsoever. I think educating from a younger age, I think more needs to be done to educate fans and educate teams. Like personally, I still don't think enough is done to educate, but we'll get there.
When you say that not enough is being done, what more do you think we need?
Campaigns like this are perfect for it. I think more clubs could be on board, more teams, even lower league teams could be, just everyone should be involved. There isn't a reason why not.
Do you think it's perhaps something that, obviously we have the dedicated fortnight, do you think it's something that we should have awareness of all round?
Yeah, all year
season?
round. It shouldn't just be 2 weeks in a year, it should be every day of the year, regardless.
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously social media now plays a huge part, and we're all on our Twitters, Instagram, Facebook. It should just be, it should be more prominent, I suppose, and more sort of in your face, because to raise awareness and kind of to really stamp this out throughout the year, not just via these couple of week campaigns, I suppose.
And I think we've seen that campaigns like this do make a difference. Obviously, with the men's team taking a knee before each game this season, both at home and away grounds, that when we first started doing that, there was the odd boo, but now it's all round applause, which shows that it does make a difference.
Yeah, I think that's just the power of football, isn't it? And both in the men's and the women's game, it's something that, if we all back it, and the players do first and foremost, and the staff are always on board with what the players do, and then it should continue in across all the games, both home and away, and it's something that is quite, it's caught on the taking the knee for obviously all the right reasons, but something similar could be done, for this campaign.
As footballers, I know that you're superstitious and you have your pre-match routines about, you want to keep things the same if you've scored the week before. But obviously the Rainbow Laces campaign, one thing that myself and many other LGBT people in football have noticed is that the actual number of players on the pitch that actually have the laces in their boots is very minimal. Why do we think this is? Because obviously the clubs and the players are great at supporting it, but then when it comes to the actual laces, they're not wearing them. How can we encourage more players to?
I think, first of all, what you said about it being very much a superstitious thing, I personally, like, on my boots, they're very like special laces that you can have in, or I don't think that lace would fit into my boot, if that makes sense. And I know that sounds really, you think, oh, I could just wear them. It is a very superstitious thing, and it's something that I wouldn't want to change. I think the campaign is brilliant, but I just think that something similar could be done to attract more. I mean, obviously, years ago there were the wristbands with the beat bully and that type of thing, and live strong, all those sorts of things. And I really do think that something like that could come into this campaign and change it to have more awareness and to show that people are backing it. I mean, obviously the whole point of it is to wear the rainbow laces and show your support and and all that sort of thing. But if people don't, then it's kind of showing that they're not really fully invested. However, we're doing this, and us as players and us as a club as a whole are backing it. It's just, unfortunately, I feel like it was something that could be altered slightly in order to get more players on board to show that they are backing this, other than just from being where we are today.
I appreciate you saying that, actually, because I think a lot of people, we're here having this conversation today, and you're here supporting the campaign, you're vocal about it, we know that you care, and actually I think if perhaps some people would look at it and say, oh, well, he's just done all that and he's not got the laces on. It's actually interesting to hear that point and understand why that is. Manfy, would you say the same as MJ here?
I'll be wearing them, and I'll be encouraging my teammates to wear them if they're comfortable with putting. I know some of them have got laceless boots, so that's a bit of but I've got an armband and stuff as well, and I think the more you can show that you're supporting it, the more people look and say they are doing things, even if it's a pair of laces or an armband. It's a step in the right direction.
And obviously a big game for you on Sunday in the Cup, one round away from the WSL teams.
Exciting, really exciting.
Confident?
More than ever.
And obviously MJ got the game on Saturday, bounced back from a couple of defeats. I'm sure the lads are raring to go for that one.
Absolutely, yeah, we're looking forward to it. Obviously it's going to be a special day for everyone involved with this, but yeah, we'll be looking to put everything right on the pitch come the weekend.
MJ, Manfy, thanks so much. Obviously it's a campaign close to my heart, and I know a lot of people at the club as well who work on this every year, so thank you so much. And the way I see it, if this only helps one person, then it's one person more that feels comfortable in a football environment, so thank you.
Thank you very much.